And just when it feels like every layer has been uncovered, every strategy understood, every mindset mastered, another truth begins to surface quietly, almost unnoticed. That mastery itself is not a destination. It's a loop, a cycle where every level you reach reveals another level above it. And this realization changes the way you see progress, because instead of chasing an endpoint, you begin to embrace the idea that there is no end, only expansion, only evolution, only the constant refinement of who you are and what you create. There's a moment, subtle but powerful, where you stop asking what works and start asking what matters. And this shift is what separates creators who grow fast from those who last long, because when your focus moves from performance to purpose, your content gains depth, it gains meaning, it gains a kind of weight that people can feel even if they can't explain it. And this is what builds true influence, not just attention, but impact. At this level, attention is no longer something you chase, it's something you direct, because you understand how it flows, how it reacts, how it spreads, and this gives you a unique advantage, the ability to not just participate in the system, but to shape it, to create content that doesn't just follow trends, but creates them, content that doesn't just attract viewers, but holds them. But with this level of control comes a new kind of discipline, because now every decision matters more, every idea carries weight, every piece of content becomes part of a larger narrative. And this means you can't afford to be careless, you can't rely on randomness, you have to be intentional, focused, and clear about what you're building. There's also a deeper connection to your own voice, because after everything you've learned, everything you've tested, everything you've experienced, you begin to strip away what's unnecessary, what's forced, what's not truly you. And what remains is authenticity, not the surface-level kind, but a deeper, more refined version, one that feels natural, effortless, and powerful. And then there's the realization that the audience you've built is not just watching you, they're growing with you, evolving with you. And this creates a relationship that goes beyond content, something that feels personal, something that creates loyalty, and this loyalty is more valuable than any viral moment because it sustains you through every phase of growth. There's also a point where you begin to think beyond the platform itself, where your vision expands, where you start seeing opportunities not just in videos, but in ideas, in influence, in building something that exists beyond a single space. And this is where creators transition into builders, into people who create ecosystems, not just content. But even at this level, the core principle remains unchanged. Creation. Because no matter how much you grow, no matter how much you achieve, it always comes back to the same simple act of putting something out into the world, of taking an idea and turning it into something real, something visible, something that can reach someone, somewhere. There's also a quiet confidence that develops, one that doesn't need to be proven, one that isn't shaken by slow views or unexpected results, because it's built on experience, on repetition, on understanding, and this confidence allows you to move forward without hesitation, without doubt, without fear of what might happen. And as everything aligns, as the mindset, the strategy, the execution come together, you realize something that changes everything. That the real competition was never external, it was internal. It was the version of you that hesitated, that doubted, that waited. And now that you've moved past that version, there's nothing left to hold you back. Because in the end, this entire journey, from the first thought of starting a channel to reaching this level of understanding, was never just about building something online. It was about building yourself, your discipline, your mindset, your ability to take action and keep going, and that is something far more valuable than any number, any milestone, any achievement. And now, standing at this point, with everything you've learned, everything you've experienced, everything you've become, there's only one thing left to decide: whether you will continue to play small, to stay comfortable, to hold back, or whether you will fully step into this space, take control, and create at a level that reflects everything you now understand, because the opportunity is no longer a question, the strategy is no longer a mystery, the path is no longer unclear. The only question that remains is, are you ready to go all in?